Welcome back to Large Man Abroad. Let's have a freaking talk, yeah? With the renaming of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, I am exposing myself to the marvelous, fantastical, and almost unreal character of a human being, which is Marjorie Taylor Greene. I've seen clips of her throughout the years, and I've always wondered how this woman got into power. So I decided to do a little bit of a deep dive and actually try to learn a little bit about Marjorie Taylor Greene, the witch queen of MAGA, and really see how her brain works. But the first thing I wanted to learn was why exactly it was so important to her that we changed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. So let's have a look.
This would rename the body of water formerly known as the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. This is such an important thing to do for the American people. The American people deserve pride in their country, and they deserve pride in the waters that we own, that we protect with our military and our Coast Guard.
I don't think America actually owns the Gulf of Mexico. I'm pretty sure its coastline is multiple countries, and I'm pretty sure that Mexico actually has the longest coastline of the Gulf of Mexico. But hey, I'm just an American with an American education, so what do I know?
And all of the businesses that prosper along these waters. But Democrats today are outraged. They're outraged because they love the cartels more than any other people in the world, more than the American people. Democrats are outraged today because they are America last, and they hate anything that would give the American people pride.
What an incredibly strange thing to say. The Democrat Party loves cartels. Listen, America has been in bed with cartels since I think the 80s. And if I'm not wrong, the whole war on drugs thing happened when Reagan was in charge. And I'm pretty sure that the CIA under the Republican Party was pretty well known for flying drugs into America and flooding black neighborhoods with crack. I'm pretty sure about that. But like I said, she's a fascinating character, a fascinating being, right? Is she human? Maybe. Maybe not. She feels like some kind of creation by the GOP. And I think it would be a shame if we didn't actually learn a little bit more about Marjorie Taylor Greene. So let's hop over to old Wikipedia and have a look, yeah? Marjorie Taylor Greene, sometimes referred to by her initials MTG, is an American far-right politician, businesswoman, and conspiracy theorist who's been the U.S. representative of Georgia's 14th Congressional District since 2021. Member of the Republican Party, she was elected to Congress in 2020 following the retirement of Republican incumbent Tom Graves, who cares, and re-elected in 2022 and 2024. I actually thought that this was her first time at bat. She's been re-elected twice. People like this. People see this and they're engaged. They like this kind of craziness. I don't think anyone's really surprised by that, but Greene has promoted anti-Semitic and white supremacist views, including white genocide conspiracy theory, QAnon, Pizzagate. She's amplified conspiracy theories that allege government involvement in mass shootings in the United States, implicate the Clinton family in murder, and suggest the attacks in 9/11 were a hoax. Before running for Congress, Greene supported calls to execute prominent Democratic Party politicians, including Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. As a congresswoman, she equated the Democratic Party with Nazis and compared COVID-19 safety measures to the persecution of Jews during the Holocaust. Later apologizing for the comparison during the Russian invasion of Ukraine, Greene promoted Russian propaganda and praised Vladimir Putin. Greene identifies as a Christian nationalist. This person isn't real. There's no way that this person is real. This kind of thing blows my mind because, like I said, she's been reelected twice, and that says a lot about the state of Georgia, or at least the 14th Congressional District of Georgia. What are you guys drinking in the water down there? Are you just drinking that good stuff, that shine? Because the only way that I can see this person being reelected twice is people are showing up just drunk. There's no way, no reasonable person. Listen, who are they running against? That's the real question. In the 14th Congressional District, who was running against this lady? Because she's like a cartoon character. She's like a character out of Talladega Nights. That's the best way to put it. Man, if you don't finish first, you're last. When visiting the offices of the representatives Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib, Greene falsely claimed that they were not official representatives because they were sworn into Congress on the Quran. In videos, Greene said that she wanted Omar and Tlaib to instead be sworn in on the Bible and accused the two representatives of supporting Islamic law. Freedom of religion. See, here's the hypocrisy of the right, the GOP, MAGA, whatever you want to call them. Freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of expression. These people tout that they are constitutionalists, that the Constitution reigns supreme. The founding documents written by the founding fathers is the preeminent documents that represent the ethos, the philosophy of what it is to be an American. But at the same time, with confidence, they just bloviate and expound on the most crazy rhetoric. It's insane. But yeah, honestly, I'm kind of here for it. I'm kind of thoroughly entertained. And I want to know more about the quality of character of this fantastic, smart, amazing politician, businesswoman, and conspiracy theorist.
And you may not understand simply because you're not an American, but we fully understand because we're proud American gun owners, and it's our job to defend the Second Amendment.
But I understand that we don't have guns in the UK, that is true, but we don't have mass shootings either. Children aren't scared to go to school.
You have mass stabbings, lady. You have all kinds of murder.
Nothing like the same rates here.
Well, you can go back to your country and worry about your no guns.
That's very kind of you.
We like ours here.
She's like an Uber Karen. It's like if you took all the stereotypes of crazy, blonde, racist white woman and just rolled it all up into one thing. And this is what you would have. MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm kind of obsessed. I think I might be falling in love a little bit of a love-hate relationship, because I mean, it gets the conspiracy part of my brain really going, because like I said, there's no way that this person should be. Here's the crazy thing about people like this. They always talk about how the Second Amendment is made to like help them fight against tyranny. But at the same time, these people are the exact reason why the Second Amendment was made, right? Like they think they're on the good side, but I mean, all they do is shut people down, push propaganda and sow hate into every aspect of the dialogue in the community and our nation. It's just, they're the bad guys. It's the best way to put it. Oh my God.
Okay, did you ever apologize to Nancy Pelosi about the bullet to her head?
I didn't say that, so I don't need to apologize for words that weren't mine.
Didn't you like it?
Other people also ran my social media. I don't think I did that.
Are you saying that you don't stand by what's on your social media?
Well, of course I stand for what's on my social media, but at times you're not always in control. We have all kinds of people that work on our social media.
Yep.
Have you fact-checked all my statements from kindergarten through 12th grade and in college, and as I've paid my taxes and never broken a law? And I got a few speeding tickets. Do we need to talk about those too? Because I think where you're going down is the same attacks that people have attacked me with over and over and over.
Well, if this is what you're known for, I think it's good that you're responding to the charges. I think it's a legitimate thing
because people
for us to
constantly focus on it, but never focus on anything good about me.
What an absolute narcissist. You do so much bad shit, and you want people to focus on the good things you do. Listen, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. This is probably the most entertaining episode we've ever made on here, by far. The funny thing is, when I started this channel, I would say I was actually pretty to the right. Got out of the military, traveled a bit, and with what my focus is on in history, I tend to be a bit more conservative by nature. But I'll tell you what, the more I dig in, right, the longer I have this channel, and plus the longer I have to interact with people like this, right, telling me how like horrible I am and how my kid's an anchor baby and how my wife should get thrown out of the country because she's from Turkey and how she's probably a terrorist. I mean, listen, it pushes me pretty far to the left. At this point, I think I'm like a straight up communist. No, but I'm definitely leaning pretty far to the left, I think. And it's just exposure to these kind of people, right? Because if you have to see this, if you have to deal with this kind of person every day, I mean, listen, it's going to push you to the other side because these people are absolutely intolerable. But imagine that. Miss MTG on your social media and said you would like to shoot this woman in the head. No, that wasn't me. But do you agree with it? Yeah, I do. Yeah, but it wasn't me. This person isn't real. This person can't be real. I kind of want to meet her.
Are you a mother?
I am a mother by marriage.
By marriage, I see.
And my wife is here with me, so I'm really glad that she's here. Rabbi Sharon Klein.
Miss Weingarten, I reclaim my time. I didn't ask you a question.
Sorry.
What I'd like to talk about is your recommendations to the CDC as not a medical doctor, not a biological mother, and really not a teacher either. You had no business advising the CDC what the medical guidelines were for school closures, because now we have a nation of school children who have suffered because of it. The problem is people like you need to admit that you're just a political activist, not a teacher, not a mother, and not a medical doctor.
I had a little look on Wikipedia, obviously, and she has a BA in business. She's got a degree in business, right? Like a bachelor's, not a master's, not a PhD. Like, she's not qualified to talk about any of the things that she's actually talking about by her own logic. Now, I think that you can be self-taught. You can experience the world enough to make your own assessments. And I think that that could actually forge very good leaders that the government does deeply need. But before this, like, other than being married and being a mother, which is very important in my opinion, I think she was just a CrossFit coach. Before she became a political activist, I think that's all she was a CrossFit coach. So it is incredibly bold to talk about other people's education and what they can and can't do when you're just a CrossFitter with a BA in business. Wild. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what a spectacular trip down the rabbit hole that was Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I'm fascinated and terrified that she's been reelected twice. And I want to know more about her, this wonderful mythical creature. This is going to mess me up. This is going to bother me. You know, I already think that America is full of stupid people, and I think it's quite well known at this point that that's something that I think. And at the same time, you know, this just reaffirms all that, because this is one of the most popular politicians the right has. One of the most popular. People love her. People want her to run for Senate. People one day, hey, maybe president. Get her up there. She's going to change things. She's going to kick out the gays next, right? We already got the Mexicans out. Next, we kick out the gays. Then the blacks. We'll take back Atlanta. I'm more curious to like go to a bar where her voters congregate, although I'd probably be killed, just to like drink with them and find it and just pick their brains a bit and be like, how does this make sense to you? Like, in what way did you think that this was a good decision? Because here's the thing. We elect people to Congress, we elect people to the Senate with the hopes of them fulfilling certain promises that they've made on their campaign. And for her just pushing conspiracy theories and changing the name of Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America, saying that that's one of the most important things that Americans want right now. Ignore the millions of people who've been laid off, the potential food shortages and calamity that's coming to the United States. We got to focus on this. Priorities are just not important to this political party. It's not, at least not to this lady. She's in her own world. This person, like I said, on the bell curve, the IQ, gotta be 85. Gotta be. Sometimes, listen, I'm not trying to make generalizations here, but there's a look. There's a look. You know what I mean? A little bit. She's got that look. You gotta admit she's got that look. And anyway, hey, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the support. Thanks for coming down the rabbit hole of insanity with me. That is American politics and the GOP and old Marjorie Taylor Greene. Like and subscribe. We do memberships now, daily content, all that stuff, but it's getting crazy out there. Comments, questions, put it down there. You really want me to see it? Do a super chat, you know, donate, give some money. Why not? I'll take it. Gets me closer to getting the hell out of this country. And hey, we love you. You guys have a good one.